Hello and welcome everyone to whoever's listening. My name is Widad Price and I am a health coach and a registered pharmacist as well. And I am here today with one of my lovely clients who is going to share, his transformation in working with me. Um, so just a little bit about me. As I mentioned, I'm a health coach and I work with professional individuals over 40 to release stubborn weight gain, improve energy levels, balance your hormones, and reset their metabolic health. And today with me, I have Dr. Wallace, who is a corporate specialist in high voltage engineering and now retired electrical engineer in his field. So very busy man. And today he's just, willing to share his experience in working with me in the Metabolic Reset program. So welcome, Dr. Wallace.
Thank you very much, Vedat. I just want to also introduce my better half, Karen, who's actually my Minister of Health, Wealth, and All Affairs, who without I wouldn't have been able to successfully tackle this project. So, yes, no, Karen is also an electrical engineer, and both of us have been in the field for over 40 years. So it's time for us to retire, yes.
Awesome, awesome, wonderful, wonderful. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And so I guess my first question then would be, what was your life like before, your health and your life like before working with me on this metabolic reset program?
Well, with that, I used to work a 24/7 schedule. So I worked very hard and long hours, not because I was forced to, but because I enjoyed it. And I thrive on the challenges of the engineering field. And so I loved it. But my health didn't. And so my cholesterol, well, I always used to get high marks at everything. So my cholesterol was extremely high. My blood sugar was way beyond what it should be. My blood pressure was totally kaput. And my weight, well, let's put it, I was slightly horizontally challenged. And at the end of the day, it ended up that, yes, I am very active in the mind, but not in the body. And the body was busy going downwards. And it was to the point that I had to start using a ResMed a breathing apparatus. I was injecting twice a day, maximum cholesterol medication, maxed out on the type 2 diabetes medication. And I still want to, get to the point where I can maybe reach 100, and be able to send back the letter that comes from the Queen or from the royal family in England, where they state, you are now welcome to the reaching 100 mark, and here's a letter of congratulations. Well, I'd like to send back that letter and tell them to put it where the sun doesn't shine, because they need to remember the Anglo-Boer War. Now, to be able to achieve that means that I'll have to do something about my health. And I think it's up to the guy in the mirror to make that decision and say, hey, listen, yeah, it's all pretty well and cool and good that you're excellent on the one side, but on the other side, you're falling apart. So that was the decision that I needed to do something about it. And I needed something I can trust, rely on, and be able to follow and know that what I'm doing is correct. And you were recommended by my doctor, Dr. Johan Dippenaar. And he said, listen, yeah, just get your ass over there. She's going to sort you out. So, well, I got my ass over there and here I am. And I'm very happy that I did.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it sounds like, your health is really not in good shape. Have you tried anything in the past to improve your health, like on your own or any other programs, anything like that?
With that, there's so many different programs out there and there's so many advice out there. You're allowed to eat potatoes. No, you're not allowed to eat potatoes. Oh my goodness, don't touch an egg. Okay. Oh no, now you must eat eggs. Yogurt is 50% bad and yogurt is 50% good. Oh, you must try this grape diet. You eat grapes until you become a wine. Okay. And so when you start looking at the stuff that's available there and the trustworthiness of what's available out there, yes, I've tried a lot of them. One that did work pretty well for us is where I had a dietitian which gave us a diet, and we had people that actually supplied us with exactly that diet at home. So we had an empty fridge and an empty deep freeze, and then every Thursday they will arrive and they fill up our fridge, fill up our deep freeze for the next week, and then in that fridge is exactly breakfast, lunch, dinner, all your snacks, even up to your milk and your tea and your water, everything was delivered. It worked very well. But the problem is that once that stopped, right, we weren't informed how to do it ourselves. We couldn't continue. So yes, that worked excellent. I had good weight loss. My health came right. Okay. And oh, she was quite cute. She used to say to me, Dr. Vosloo, just get on the scale. It's the only thing that doesn't lie. Yeah. I mean, you did it a little bit better in the sense that you said, send me a photo of the scale every day. So, yes, well, I mean, that was actually now really making certain you get the right data. But yeah, the other programs which I tried out, and oh my goodness, and my poor mom also, she was also overweight and unhealthy, and oh, we all tried all these fancy diets and nothing worked. Why? Because we weren't educated. We weren't educated with the correct information, which could lead us to understand what's going on and how we can basically resolve it by following those programs. So you were just told, do this, do that, do that, and then some hocus pocus story in between why it should work. And then you find out, yes, you do lose a bit of weight and so on, but my goodness, you gain nearly double when you're finished. So the scenario of stuff that we have tried, nothing has had this scenario of where this is why you have that problem. This is what you should do to address that, you know? And then further, I'm a firm believer, he who measures knows. And for the first time now, I could put a monitor on my arm, and on my cell phone, I could see my blood sugar levels, and I could see what the effect was of different items and when I eat it, and when I do exercise, or when I don't do exercise, or when I have a half a banana or when I have a full banana, what effect it has on my blood sugar levels. And so as a scientist and an engineer, and both of us obviously being in that field, we just loved it because we could see what was cooking and see the effects and see the advice which you were giving us, whether it was working or not, and seeing it's working, you know, and then saying, you see, we were right to believe in it. And I think that is the big thing, is to have belief and to understand in what you're doing, and then you can follow it.
No problem. Thank you for sharing that. You definitely sound passionate, and I'm glad that you brought that up about there's so much information out there on the whether it's on the internet or programs out there, and you just don't know what to do anymore. People out there are so confused of what is right and what is wrong, or what's right for them. So I'm glad that I could provide a little bit of that support and that coaching where I have a background in pharmacy, I have a background in health coaching. So I could combine the two, nutrition and coaching, which I find was the sort of the one thing that helps people move forward when you combine the two. So my next question, Dr. Vosloo and Carmen, like you mentioned a little bit about my approach. It's a little bit different. What did you find different to my approach as to maybe something else that you've heard about or read about in the past?
Well, I must say your subtleness. You know, I don't enjoy filling in forms, okay, because I'm dyslexic. So I started off by thinking there's no bloody ways that I'm going to fill in all these forms. I mean, here's one sheet after the other, which I have to fill in and do this and do that. But the thing is this is that you were willing to adapt and to work, let us work together and say, listen here, just send me a photo, you know. And so we could basically work together and sort out something which worked for both of us. It wasn't set in concrete, you know. And at the end of the day, the idea was to gather the information to be able to help me and to be able to give you the data which is required to resolve the problem or to help resolve the problems which I have. Other programs, I had never looked at other programs other than the few that I mentioned before, and I never thought of getting a health coach. Who would think you need a health coach? I mean, I'm not in Hollywood, you know, and I'm a boerklonkie, you know. So for me, I mean, it's like having to go to a psychologist. I mean, I don't need a psychologist. I'm tough, man. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Get over it. You know what I mean? Kick your ass and get into gear, you know. So why do I need a health coach? Okay. But I can tell you that really the effect of you supporting, but supporting in a subtle way where you're not saying thou shalt, you're saying let's try this or let's try that. Or no, take your time. You don't have to immediately drink 2.5 liters of water, okay? And then I'm telling you, try this breathing technique. No, you don't have to do them all. Get one that works for you, you know that. So I think the health coach concept I've bought into now. With each person has a
absolutely.
unique solution, and that's where you require somebody to coach you through the general information to be able to get to the point where you can put something together that works for you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that. And well, now let's get into some of your results. Maybe you can share what you achieved. You mentioned what life was like before, and so now going through a 10-week, maybe it actually ended up being 12 weeks, 12-week program. What were some of your results?
Well, okay, right. Let's start off. My blood sugar was 18. Okay, now my blood sugar is in the order of about 6, which is a significant reduction in blood sugar level. That was my main goal, okay, to get my blood sugar levels down to where I'm fairly normal. And I think 5, 6, I'm on average 6, okay, and I feel quite great about that. Then further, what has happened is that I used to inject twice a day, and I used to inject 176 units. That is, I mean, I go through one pen in 2 days, okay, and then it's finished. Kaput, kafufel and kablooey. Now I'm only injecting 60 units per day, once a day. So already that component, I feel that I've got my type 2 diabetes, I've got under control. Why? Because I didn't know if you eat a banana, it goes sky high. Okay. And so there's things which I love bananas. So what do? It's healthy. So I grab a banana and then I push my blood sugar. Okay. Now further, what has happened also is that I always used to be hot. I was never ever cold. I was always hot. My goodness gracious me, you know, that is quite a change from being always overheated to actually being maybe now normal. Then further, when I look just at my weight, I would get onto the scale and it will say, ouch, made in Hong Kong. You know, so I was over 150 kilograms. So when I go to the doctor, I get on his scale and he says, right, let me measure your middle, okay? Because the scale doesn't want to operate so well. Well, I'm now 130 kilograms. So I can get on a normal scale and I lost 20 kilograms, at least 22 kilograms, because I don't know, I was somewhere over 151. So it must have been somewhere there. I don't know. Let's call it 151 because it doesn't sound so bad. And now I've got problems with my pants falling down and my clothes are a little bit too big and so on. So I've lost quite a few kilograms, which I'm very pleased about. My objective wasn't to lose weight. My objective was really to get my cholesterol levels down. and my blood sugar, especially my blood sugar levels down. Talk about cholesterol. I mean, I told you about the effect of the pills and the fact that that has now also cleared up my mind. I had high blood pressure. My blood pressure was 160 over 100. It's now 130 over 80, which is quite a significant change. I can bend over forwards and I can bend and get up quickly without feeling dizzy or popping over with little stars. So if you think about it, I've got more. Oh yes, and the other thing is that now I've got a proper stool just to give you I mean,
Okay.
what a topic, but I actually, when you got that fancy stool chart of yours who say this
The
color and this
The
texture and
Bristol
all those things there.
chart.
I mean, I've got the perfect stool now. And further, yes, I do urinate green now and then from all the veggies, but we now know that that was also why. But the thing is now I actually have a good movement of liquids and solids, so that is also
That
quite a
sounds like
change.
sounds like your
Yeah,
digestion improved
exactly.
overall as well.
My digestive system has significantly changed. And by the way, I don't feel hungry at all, and I fast for 16 hours a day, and I eat twice a day, according to our meal plan and according to our balanced plate and all the. Oh yes, you must now see it. I mean, my friends don't believe it because half of my plate, is greens, and then the other quarter of the plate is vegetables, and then the other quarter of the plate is my protein, and they're looking at this and they say, but Wallace, you never ate salad. I said, yes, but salad's actually quite nice. You must try it out. It's actually not so bad. So
And
I think that I think you must go into it with that, with a feeling of, I'm going to follow it and make it work. So for
right.
me, I must say that I don't have that dizziness. I've got more energy. And then obviously I got the two little doggies, which I take for a walk. So that's another thing. If you don't have doggies or a dog, get yourself a doggie or doggies, and they are going to change your life.
Gordon comes in. Gordon, you prepare the meals and you I remember when we chatted before, you were saying, oh, I don't know. I don't cook vegetables. I don't know what to do with them. And now you're a foodie and you know what to do with vegetables now and you're making healthy meals. And how did you make that switch?
I think the biggest change for me was previously I used to think, butter, oils, everything had to be fried, that kind of thing. And you needed that for the taste. But then when I tried out to just cook it in water and just use natural herbs and stuff, I started realizing that it's also tasty and it actually is very nice. And then I started using, thinking about stock and I'm not going to cook a stock specially for that.
Mhm.
And then started reusing the water that's remained after cooking and using that for the next meal. And that sort of just helped build up the flavor and everything.
Mhm.
And I think
Absolutely.
what made a big difference and a big change was also that Wallace actually accepted the meals. He wasn't complaining too much.
I couldn't complain.
That's
That
awesome.
My coach will give me a whack over the head with a 14-pound hammer if I complained.
the main thing that I use it now still, even though we're on the maintenance phase now, I still realize, but I don't have to use that much oils and butter and stuff. A little bit is enough.
Yes.
And the rest can, water helps a lot. And also, as you recommended, don't use too much mixture of spices and stuff. Try and go for
Right.
the
Simplicity.
simplicity. Yes.
Right.
And I must
Awesome.
maybe add there, with that, if it wasn't for Woolworths and their online facility, then we would have struggled more in the sense that we're both lazy. So, and we said that to you in the beginning, and we both don't cook. So if we can have food delivered, we're very happy. Okay. And if we can go and eat out in a restaurant, we're even more happier. So then Corin is a professional engineer. She's not into the cooking. But what has really helped us tremendously is we can go online. We go and tick down everything we want, and we prepay. We go and fetch it at Woolworths at the shop, click and collect, and it's done. I mean, when I leave Corin in a shop, it takes 3 hours for her to get out of the shop because she looks at everything, looks at every price, analyzes everything. Now we can do it online. And that means that we can reorder, pre-select, and that saved us a lot of effort and time, but also it made life easier for us to go through all the labels and to check whether and so on. And we could follow your program easier by actually using, and I mean, it's not only Woolworths that does it. I mean, there's a lot of other shops that does it. It's just that if we don't make use of Woolworths, one of our friends who works for Woolworths will probably whack us over the head. So, but yes, it's about taking your situation and making the best of it by making use of technology and what's around you.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm so glad that you came up with a plan that worked for you. You know, everyone is busy and we're all looking. I mean, part of the problem of health in this world right now is convenience and convenience foods and processed foods, which makes life easy because you just, go buy takeouts and it's easy to buy packaged foods. So, but now you kind of flip that and you just made better choices. So you still went to buy what's easy for you, but you just made better choices and you put it all together and made a healthy plate. So proud of you guys. You really excelled in your foods and your choices. When you send me photos of your plates, it looks so colorful and so, and that's one of the things about
chef.
But you know what?
This is a professional chef.
Oh yes, now she's becoming a pro.
So yeah, I guess my next question would be, I know you mentioned a little bit about how your life has changed, but maybe briefly, couple of things. What are you able to do now that you maybe weren't able to do in your life before working with me and going through this program?
I must just make certain who's the audience before I really tell you everything.
So maybe, yeah, just censor that a little bit.
I don't want you to blush. Well. Firstly, let me start with the fact that I think I've got my mojo back. Okay, and so at the same time, I used to enjoy going outside when the sun rises and go for my first morning piddle, and so get the first rays of the sun that heats you up and you're standing there and the steam's coming out of the ground as you're standing having a piddle. Now, what happened is that for quite a few years I couldn't do that because I was just my system was just not there. Now, my goodness, I'm as if I'm like 18 years old again, I'm stand there and I can have a decent piddle, so that is, it's simple things like that we did, and also having the gust and the energy to stand up and say, yippee, it's a nice day, not, oh my goodness, like E.R. the donkey from Winnie the Pooh, life is not fair. I don't know how the hell I'm going to get up this morning, you know what I mean? Nowadays, I'm a little bit more energetic for the day, and I think that makes a big difference to your quality of life, And then also the fact that now I can get down on my knees and get up. Previously, I couldn't get down on my knees. I had problems getting up. So now I can get down on my knees and get up without feeling dizzy or anything like that, but also have the strength and be able to handle my weight. So that makes a big difference. And then also with the walk, I don't feel that overheated, and I don't feel that my pulse rate is going through the roof, so I'm definitely getting more fit. And also at the same time, as I said, I've got that extra gust, which has actually made quite a bit of a change for me. So I'm looking forward to things more,
Awesome.
rather than just having to do them. So yes,
Awesome.
it has made a difference from that perspective.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And that's really what being healthy is about, is having the energy and the gust for life to do the things that you enjoy.
But it's all your fault that I go to bed earlier. I mean, and at the same time, I get up earlier in the morning. So I'm getting more into the natural cycle of going to bed earlier rather than late. I mean, previously we used to go to bed after 12, sometimes 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, And now I watch less TV. I find TV a little bit boring at this stage. So, I mean, it's actually indirectly changed a lot of things without thinking about changing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually want to go to bed to go and sleep, and then I do sleep. And then the next morning, I want to get up. It's not a scenario I still want to sleep. So it definitely changes your sleep cycles, which is, I think, also quite important. And so, yeah, I must say this program does tend and because I must just warn people that it's not just the scenario about what you eat and how you eat. It's the whole psychological aspects surrounding that as well, which you play a role in, and which you basically advise on and also give information on, which is also quite important. So anyhow,
Absolutely.
yeah, I was vaccinated with gramophone needle. I'll keep chatting for the whole night.
That's okay. So I guess, yeah, my final question would be, would you recommend anyone's listening who's looking to make health a priority, who wants to feel better? Would you recommend working with a health coach, with Widad as a health coach, and the Metabolic Reset program, and why?
Yes, yeah, obviously I would definitely recommend it. However, okay, you can have everything. You can have Widad, and she's got a wonderful style and way of working with you as a person. She's going to try her best to do everything for you, as you did with us. And you've got a very good program, excellent program, one which I can highly recommend, and I fully believe in. And remember, both of us as engineers are tremendous skeptics. Okay, so for us to actually recommend and say we believe in it, you can really believe it. Okay, but the thing at the end of the day, it's not as good as the coach. It's got to do with you as an individual. The person you see in the mirror every morning when you brush your teeth and your hair. Oh yeah, by the way, you're going to get a copper scraper to scrape your tongue with. Do it, it works, okay? So anyhow, the scenario here is that it's up to you, okay? Take a deep look at that person in the mirror and let that person decide, yes, I'm going to do it. And then once you've got that, take the stuff that's the best available, like your program and your help and the help of a coach, right? And then make a success out of it, because you will.
So thank you for sharing your lovely journey with me and with whoever's listening. And I thank you for your time. And yeah, I will post my details if anyone wants to contact me in this post. And yeah, reach out if you need help. I'm happy to help. And thank you for listening, and have a lovely weekend further, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Wallace and Karen, for your time. And bye for now.
Hasta la vista.
Bye.